Hi, I'm Venus O'Hara and welcome to another video. Today I wanted to talk about something very provocative, which is promiscuity and pair bonding. I thought this was very interesting because the other day I was on YouTube and I saw some videos on this topic that popped up in my feed and I thought, ooh, this is interesting. So I watched a couple of them. And the general consensus was, if you're very promiscuous, you're going to have more difficulty to pair bond, which kind of makes sense. But what really bothered me about all of these videos and the comments in them was that there was a real kind of emphasis on promiscuous women. Promiscuous men are fine, it's just the promiscuous women. So a woman who sleeps around is and a guy who does it is a hero. And I just thought, oh my God, have we not evolved? Are things still like this today? I mean, for me personally, I just think that's really sad because I live in a kind of sex positive cocoon and I don't really live any double standards in my life with the people I associate my days with. I don't think they really think like that. And a lot of male friends that I have who are single and using dating apps, they're not looking for virgins, or if they're looking for a partner, they're not expecting a virgin or they don't mind if a woman's had a few one-night stands or who's lived a bit. At least she'll know what she wants, surely. But yes, I was very shocked by this. And I think it was really unfair that there was one rule for women and another for men. But for me personally, I'm not pro-promiscuity at all. I would argue that promiscuity, obviously there are different degrees of promiscuity, but if you're constantly looking for the next shag, the next lover, then I think it's not really about sexuality or libido. I think it's more about validation and ego, and that's kind of a sad situation. And also, when you're just looking for hookup all the time, you're kind of looking for bodies and genitalia, whereas the best connections are with hearts and souls and minds. Oh, it doesn't have to be love, but there's something transcending the physical is definitely something I would aim for anyway, not just bodies. I mean, for that, I would just use a vibrator or 600 that I've got in my collection. But yeah, it's very, very unfair that there's this double standard that still seems to be around in certain circles. But it's a very recent development that women are kind of more independent, etc. And I wanted to read a little extract from this book called Sex for One, The Joy of Self-Loving by Betty Dodson. And she passed away on the 31st of October this year at the age of 91. And she got married when she was, I think, in her 20s or maybe, I don't know, so a long time ago, basically. And she writes something very interesting about virginity. Let me read it now. Although I said I married for love, I had really bestowed my gift of sex in exchange for economic security, because I lived in a society that didn't give equal pay to women. I was unconsciously bargaining with sex for marriage. Still the best financial deal for women. Whether I was saving sex for my prince, freely bestowing it on my lover, or granting exclusive rights in marriage, I was doing business with sex. When the female genitals have economic value instead of sexual value for women, marriage becomes a legal form of prostitution. It's no wonder that some wives feel like unpaid hookers. Oh my God, underpaid hookers, and some husbands feel like overworked Johns. So that's kind of interesting. But anyway, I thought that was a very interesting perspective on marriage, and you can see that, well, that's why equal pay is so important. And I think that's why there was such a judgment on women who were promiscuous in the past. And I think it was people maybe around these women were trying to protect them because it was their value, it was their future. And I think that's really sad, personally. When I lost my virginity, I was thinking about love and curiosity, and I was so in love. I never thought that I was trading my future, because I was going to university. I was going to do my own thing and be an independent woman. And so it's a very, very, very different scenario. So yeah, everyone should have sex if and when and whenever they want, of course, but I'm not really a proponent of promiscuity. Of course, there are different degrees of promiscuity. You can have a phase between relationships, or it might be a special occasion. It might be something you do when you travel for work, or maybe you're just constantly looking for hookups. I don't know. There are lots of different types of or degrees to promiscuity. But for me personally, I think any type of promiscuity is quite unattractive, and also for male promiscuity, I don't think it's, oh yeah, he's great, he's a playboy, he's with loads of women. That type of person also, you'd think, I don't know, you think you might not feel special if you're with someone like that who has no criteria with who they go to bed with. I don't think it's attractive for anyone really, and I don't think it's really about sex. I think it's about validation, and that's what's not cool about it, in my humble opinion. Yeah, so I think it's kind of good, I think anyway, to have experienced different things in life, such as monogamy, and then some kind of casual encounter, so that so you've experienced it, and then some celibacy as well. I think it's really important to be on your own for a while, not just for sexual reasons, but also for kind of emotional reasons. I think it's really important to be self-sufficient, and that anyone who comes into your life is a plus. It's not kind of, I would say, if it's a cake, if it's a cupcake, our lives should be the sponge, and the person in your life is the kind of cherry and the icing or the frosting on top. It's the kind of extra that makes the sponge better. You know, it shouldn't be the sponge, you know, you should have your own sponge. I don't know if that makes any sense. But yeah, very interesting topic. So it's very frustrating that that promiscuity is, there's still a lot of misogyny out there. But what I think is important is to live your life in every moment in the most authentic way you can. And you shouldn't think about someone in your future judging you for your present, or someone in your present judging you from your past. It's like when you're doing your CV or your resume, you shouldn't really have to justify anything in your life. You did what you thought was best at a certain time, and voila, and you just learn from it. I think that's really important. And I prefer, I've had partners who have had promiscuous pasts, and it doesn't really bother me, because I know that they appreciate me more, because I know some people who've had lots of dates with people and hookups, etc., and then they've had one night stands, and then there's that one person that they actually wanted to stay for breakfast with, and then they actually ended up getting married to that person. So there can actually be there can be phases as well. It's not just about a promiscuous personality and doing it all the time. So yeah, so it's a very touchy subject, but I wanted to share it. And I don't really think that the extreme promiscuity doesn't really add much value to your life, I don't think, other than helping you to value the real special situations that you hopefully can find yourself in. Yeah, so my advice to anyone who's promiscuous is just, maybe advice, if you want to change it, that is, but is to really ask why you're doing it. What is it for? Is it for sex? Is it for validation? And I think, because I think one thing that can improve your sex life across the board is just to actually choose your partners carefully. Choosing your partners carefully, and that someone that you really like, someone that makes you feel very comfortable, and someone that you know the surname. I think that's kind of interesting. I think that's kind of basic. I know lots of people who don't even know the surnames of most of their lovers, but I think that's kind of sad, because that's definitely the opposite of the sexuality that I'm trying to promote. I believe in sacred sexuality, and I think sharing intimacy with someone is one of the greatest things you can experience in life. Yeah, so that's a very difficult subject, and I wanted to talk about it anyway, and I would love to hear your opinions on this, promiscuity and pair bonding. I think, yeah, very interesting. So if you have anything to share, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below. And if you have any requests for new topics for my videos, because I'm doing Vlogmas until next week, then write to me at venusohara.org or on Instagram at venusohara. Thanks for watching. Mwah.